Welcome to How We Grow, an essential playbook to grow and scale your vacation rental business with advice and insights from the best in the biz, with your host, Lynell Gordon. Welcome to How We Grow, the Vacation Rental Show. I am so excited today. Vickie Storm is in the house with me, and she's really a brilliant person. I think that anybody that gets to know her is always impressed by her sheer breadth of knowledge of the industry. She's really smart, and she knows a lot about the industry. She is currently the CEO of iTrip, and we're going to talk about today we're going to do a bunch of stuff, but we're going to talk about why people, vacation rental managers, are interested and they're just flocking to the types of companies that Vickie does, which are, Vickie, tell us a little bit about iTrip, what you guys do.
Oh, let's talk about my passion. iTrip is a franchise model in the short-term rental property management industry. So we are selling exclusive territories or markets to individuals who are looking to develop a very high-powered, big machine in managing short-term rentals.
So I'm going to put that in layman's terms for me. So using the franchise model allows you to scale up really quickly because you have everything set in place. That's what I see it as. Now, Vickie, what did you do before you did vacation rentals?
I served as the president of an identity theft and data breach risk management company.
So you've come from a corporate background. You understand what it is to run a company. So let's talk about the franchise model. There are a bunch out there. And like I said, they're growing so rapidly. Why? Tell me the reasons that people are interested in doing that.
Well, you're right, Lynell. There are a lot of franchise models out there. Franchising, first and foremost, is not new. It's been around since the early 1700s, and a name we know well for innovations, Benjamin Franklin, started the franchise model. Today, there are a little over 3,000 franchise brands, but very few in the short-term rental industry space. Why would people be interested in a franchise? Because you can certainly start your own short-term rental property management business on your own. But when you do that, of course, you're starting with a blank sheet of paper and you are building everything from scratch. You're going out and either creating or buying the tools and technology that you need. You're learning how to do this business. With a franchise, that's all done for you. You are provided the tools and technology. You're provided the training and coaching and support. And so when you mention that you can grow the business faster, especially on the launching side of things, you're going to launch much more quickly because all of those nuts and bolts are in place already for you to utilize and then just propel forward.
Okay, so I get that for people who are starting out, but that's not the only people that are flocking to the franchise model. We have people that have been in business for, 8 years that I'm just thinking about people that I know, 7 years, people that have been in business for a long time, and they're like, oh, this is what I want. So why are they going there?
And it goes back to tools and technology. Today, this industry is so driven by technology.
Yeah.
And if you think about all the different categories of short-term rental property managers, individual property owners of secondary or tertiary properties trying to manage their own property, small mom and pop property management companies, divisions of real estate companies or agencies, regional companies and national companies. Look, as you get to the smaller range of those property managers, they don't have the resources or the time or the knowledge to buy and build all the technology that's needed. So they reach a point of growth and then they stabilize and they're kind of stuck. And we know technology is fluid. So every time they think they've got it figured out, things change. By being part of a franchise, again, those aspects of running your business are provided for you. So it allows people who have been in the business for a while, they understand the model and they understand the operational aspects, the client service aspects. Usually what they really need are those tools and technology that continue to be improved upon so that they are able to stay current with their business operation.
So the other thing that surprised me is that it's not just property management companies that have just a small number of properties. Although I don't know where it lends itself. I know in from experience in vacation rentals, when you get to 45, close to 50, your whole operations change. And you guys know that have experience. In 75, it changes. Um, and as you get, as you get larger, from 100 to 200 doesn't seem to be that huge a difference. But then as you begin to scale from there. So what numbers are we looking at? People are thinking, okay, should I franchise? What numbers, where are the things with franchise where it breaks?
Well, a lot of our franchisees come to us solo or two people who are franchisees, and they're going to manage it. They're under our system. They're going to manage that by themselves. They will contract out with cleaning services. They will contract out maintenance services, but the operations, the daily activities that are outside of those categories, they'll be able to manage until they reach a threshold of 24 to 32 properties, and then they're going to need some more help. And so
Mm-hmm.
that's the first threshold that we see. And then as
Okay.
you get to 50, you're going to need somebody else. But what the business allows is for people to get started, like I said, singularly or with a partner. So you're not having to buy out space. You don't have to have commercial space and all the equipment that goes with it. You don't have to have employees at first. You're able to get started and then add those, especially employees, as your revenue allows you through growth to pay for that.
That's remarkable because we know in business that our most expensive asset is always people. It
Absolutely.
is. So when I heard you say that, I was trying to follow along and I was like, wait a minute, you're talking being able to get to 25 properties and only have two people there.
That's right.
Um, I recommended someone last week for the franchise model who I was talking to because she was one person and she'd gotten to 25 properties without using software. I said, do you have a life? Like, no, I have
Probably not. Probably
no
not at
life.
that
And she
point.
has children. So I was like, you need to think about this.
Yeah.
So, what advice would you give people who are thinking about the franchise model?
The advice that I would offer is to do your due diligence, like with any new business opportunity. We have a great discovery process to help educate them about the industry, about our model, the revenue streams, etc. I think training is important, technology is important, and you look at markets. You make sure
Mm-hmm.
that you're able to operate well in an area where you live. Generally, that's important for our model because our owner operators live in or very near their market. That's part of our value proposition. Certainly, we've seen continued growth in the short term rental industry. In fact, that is one of the two driving factors that brought me to iTrip over 8 years ago. The trajectory of the industry was very exciting. It
Oh,
still
yeah.
felt kind of new, even though if you go back to vacation rental, cottage industry, it's not brand new, but it's become a mainstream industry in the last 15 years or so. And to see it just explode has been a lot of fun. The second thing that drew me to iTrip in particular was the franchise model and the dedication of the people in our brand to really help serve new franchisees and existing franchisees for continued growth.
The thing about the, and I'm usually really agnostic about everything. And I know a lot of people in the franchise and I love them. I love them all. They're smart, they're fun. Like I get to talk to a lot of people that do this, but the thing that's unique about iTrip that I liked, um, is the fact that you have people that have been there for a long period of time that are still there. And I have found that people that are good at this, um, they have that. So I've seen that business model that you're using work for other people. Not everybody in the franchise industry in the vacation rental, but there are those. And it's because you're so passionate about what you do and they love working for you. So I think that's just a big bonus. Now, let me ask you this. The first step, if someone has, say they only have a few vacation properties, what's their first step in getting started with a franchise model? You said do your due diligence, make sure there's training. And I think That's
And
good
make sure the
advice.
technology, you want to hear about the technology. Look, we've been awarded the elite partner status with Verbo since the very first year of its inception in 2018. And that award is based on excellence in your software platform to support this industry. We've been a recipient of that award every year since then. And it's a pretty small club of software providers that do that. We're a franchise that was really built on technology from the very beginning. And then you just get started with us. Our training kicks off quickly. You launch fast. Within a very small number of weeks, your business is live and you're out there bringing properties under management, starting to manage them. What's interesting too for us is, yes, we are a great option for people who are already managing a couple properties. And it's true that some of our franchisees come to us and they've had some personal experience. Maybe they've had their own secondary property that they used as a short-term rental, or they managed some properties for a few friends.
Mm-hmm.
But if you dig a little deeper than that, the resume profiles of our franchisees are so different. This is an industry that is an attractive option for anyone, no matter where they come from, no matter their
That's true.
experience. And
That's
we
so
love
true.
that.
Built by property managers for property managers. Streamline is a powerful software that gives managers enterprise-level capabilities to drive more revenue and improve operational efficiency. Migrating to Streamline allows property managers to gain functionality while reducing the need for multiple vendors, improving flow by logging into a single system and reducing redundant technology costs. With Streamline, property managers achieve revenue lifts by leveraging our fully fledged communication center, reservations quoting system, revenue management tools, homeowner acquisition CRM, and powerful direct OTA connections. Streamline also has industry-leading trust accounting and report capabilities to give you clarity in an overall company performance. Learn more about Streamline Vacation Rental Software at streamlinevrs.com.
That's true. I see a lot of people that come out of the banking business, the insurance business, that have started their own. But I mean, they really do come from all over. So due diligence. And what other advice would you give to property managers just that are thinking about franchising, or maybe they just don't know a lot about franchising? Tell me the kinds of things that franchising offers. I know you do marketing. And I just want to shout out your analytics. Can I just say your analytics rock? They are rock solid analytics. I've seen them and I have played with them. What other kinds of things can they expect help with? Marketing?
Yes, definitely marketing, digital marketing, in-print marketing. We offer the largest exposure for marketing their properties than anyone else in the industry. We have direct API links with over 100 listing sites, like
Wow.
Airbnb and Verbo. You know, people who don't necessarily come from the industry oftentimes just think Airbnb is the term for everything. And one of the first questions we often get is, how do you compete against Airbnb because they're so big? Well, we don't. They're a strong.
No, exactly. We use them.
That's right. And Verbo and all of the others. I think too, what surprises people about this industry is just the really quick turnaround time. But let's not forget it's hard work at first. Even if you have a few properties already, or if you're starting with zero, those
Yeah.
first couple of years involve some heavy lifting to get your business going. And I love a soundbite from one of our franchisees who says, I never worked so hard in my first 2 years. I never lived so well as in my next 2 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
we do really change lives.
Wow. That's a great quote. I've never heard anybody say that. Um, and I think that anytime you're in business and you expect to get started and it's easy, you're not being realistic. It
That's
doesn't matter.
exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. And even with the support that you're going to have with well, the support you have and the money you save because you don't have to hire people, that's a huge part of it. But you're still, like you say, you're definitely going to work hard. That's good. People should
Yeah,
know
but
they're going to
but
work
in
hard.
this industry and in the franchising segment of it, it's part of the story that's really lovely. You start out working really in there in the business, and then grow to working on the business. And that provides people to reach goals that they have about work-life balance and the lifestyle that they want, so that they don't have to continue to be down into the details every day of the business, but they can manage ultimately other people who are doing that for them.
I love that. No, I love that. Yeah, that's everybody's dream. Is there anything else you want to say? Anything that I didn't cover that you'd like to talk about?
Well, I think whether you join a franchise or whether you do it on your own, the short-term rental industry, I'm very bullish on the industry. It's still somewhat unregulated. It's still rather fluid. But look, we service every type of traveler there is. Yes, vacation travelers, but for business travel, for medical purposes, to visit colleges, for other special events. We bring whole families together under one roof, or groups of friends. And people, once they've tried a short-term rental, they fall in love with that environment, with that opportunity, and they tend to make that their go-to for future travel, lodging choices. And we're just thrilled to be part of it.
Okay, so normally I ask people, because I usually talk with vacation rental managers, and I ask them to give me their favorite guest or owner story. I want you to give me your favorite franchise story.
There really are so many, but I think the essence of them is this: people who start out and really don't have the big enough expectations of what's going to happen in their lives. And they look back 3 years later or 5 years later, and it's exceeded what they set out as their objectives. If it's exceeded their dreams. And I love that part of the story. I think that's what it's all about. Happy people doing things that they love and being able to have a lifestyle that it is more than they ever thought they could have.
That's really beautiful. And I really thank you for taking the time to come and share. I like the model. I think it's fascinating, and I know it's growing by leaps and bounds. I'm interested to see where we are in 2 years and how the model changes. I've looked, and there's been a bunch of changes in the last 2 years over how this works. I'm bullish too. I'm bullish about everything vacation rental, to tell you the truth. I've been in the business 22 years. I'm like,
so you've seen change. I guess I would also leave with this one comment. If anybody out there who's listening to this podcast has ever had even a kernel of thought about, is franchising right for me? If you reach out to iTrip, there's no obligation. We're going to talk to you. We're going to understand what you want in your life, and we're going to explain this opportunity to you. So don't be afraid to reach out and just say, tell me more.
So, Vickie, the people listening, they're going to want to talk to you. How do they reach you?
Sure.
People from the show, if you're listening and you are interested in a franchise model, or you just want to ask questions, Vickie, how do they reach you?
Well, the hardest thing about this whole conversation, Lynell, is how to spell my first name. It's Vickie.
It's an IE.
.storm at itrip.co. And I will be delighted to get back and have a conversation with anybody who reaches out. And thanks so much for including me today, Lynell.
I'm so happy to have you. I got to tell you, we've sat down and talked before, and whenever we talk, I never get enough time with you. You know, it's always really
goes by fast.
Interesting conversations. Yeah, very interesting. I'm really grateful for you coming. Guys, if you can't find her, please reach out to me on LinkedIn or call me 910-880-4700.
Perfect. Thanks, Lynell.
Thanks a lot for being with me, and I appreciate your time.
This episode of How We Grow is brought to you by Streamline. To find out more about how Streamline can help grow your vacation rental business, visit streamlinevrs.com. Make sure to search for How We Grow in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found, and hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. On behalf of the team here at Inhabit, thanks for listening.